Now, first things first, we're going to need a newspaper to project our AR content onto. Now, if you have a copy of newspaper that's lying around, then of course you can use that. But you will need to find a main image in the newspaper, and you need to be able to source the actual image online somewhere. And you'll also need to find a video that's relevant to that content to make it work. So it might be a little bit roundabout. So for those of you guys who are following along with the tutorials, I've included a link in the course resources list that downloads a copy of the front page of the Daily Prophet, so the Harry Potter newspaper. And we're going to be working with this in the tutorial, and I'll show you how to source all of the content and materials. So I recommend that if you're working along with the tutorial, just to simply head over here and download this newspaper and then print it out. So we're going to be holding this newspaper in one hand and the app in the other in order to launch our newspaper into AR. Once you've gotten hold of this newspaper, we need a saved copy of the actual image. So go ahead and open it up in Preview and expand the image to as large as possible on your screen. And then hold down Command, Control, Shift, and 4, and that opens up our screenshot tool, which we're going to use to take a screenshot of this main image. Now, once we let go, a copy of that screenshot is saved on our clipboard. And if you're inside the preview application, if you hold down Control N, then it will create a new file from that screenshot, which we can now save. And I'm going to call it just Harry Potter. And I'm going to save it in the PNG format. So now make sure you can locate that Harry Potter image and make sure you've already printed out your newspaper image. The next step is sourcing our video. Now, ideally, you would have some video that's lying around that you own that's also in the MP4 format. It's really important that you try to find a video that's in the MP4 format. It works best from a lot of experimentation with ARKit and with SceneKit. Now, if you can't find anything that's suitable, then the easiest thing is just to head on to YouTube and try to find a Harry Potter clip. And this should give you something that's relatively short, sort of 2 or 3 minutes long. And we're going to copy this YouTube URL and head over to a YouTube downloader. Now, of course, if you're building your app for launch on the App Store, then you need to make sure that you own all of the media and all of the content that you're going to put into your app. But just for the purposes for learning and education, we're going to download this YouTube video in an MP4 format. So I'm going to select the MP4 360, so make it a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to download this video. Now, once we've downloaded the video, it's important that you rename it to the exact same name that you gave your main image. So I called the other one Harry Potter, so I'm going to call this one Harry Potter as well. And we now have an image that we've printed out, which we're going to launch our ARKit on. We have the image that needs to be recognized in the newspaper, and we've also got the video that needs to play in the place of the image once the ARKit app recognizes it. So we're now all ready with our resources to get started building our app. Once you've done all of that, then head over to the next lesson and let's get started building our magical newspaper app.